Did you know that in the past few weeks, thousands of young Kenyans have risked their lives in the streets, facing tear gases, water cannons, and even live bullets, all to send a message to their government? This isn't just another protest, my people. This is about a generation demanding a future that they can actually live in. And if you want to truly understand what's happening on the ground, stay with me to the end because what's unfolding in Kenya could easily happen anywhere governments push people past the edge. But before we dive deeper, do me a quick favor. If you care about global stories that truly matter, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on stories that the mainstream media often skips. Alright, now let's get into it. So what's happening in Kenya? It started when the government proposed a new financial bill with heavy tax hikes on fuel, food, and basic digital transactions. For a country already battling high unemployment and rising cost of living, this bill was like throwing gasoline on a fire. Young people who have been hit the hardest by joblessness and economic instability saw this as a betrayal. Many are calling it a life tax and they are done being quiet. At first, the protests began as peaceful marches, with young Kenyans carrying signs and chanting, "We can't breathe, we can't breathe." But as the days passed, the tension escalated. Riot police clashed with protesters, tear gases filled the streets, and water cannons pushed crowds back. In some areas, protesters started fires, barricading roads, while others faced direct confrontation with security forces. Reports indicate that at least 10 people have lost their lives. 10 good people have lost their lives in this protest, with many others injured. Images of youth dragging injured friends away from clashes have flooded social media, turning these protests into a symbol of Kenya's generational frustration. But why is this protest so significant? It's not just about the taxes, my people. It's about deep-rooted corruption. It's about leaders living lavishly while ordinary Kenyans struggle to afford their daily bread. It's about a system that has failed its people over and over again. This movement is being driven by young people who feel their voices have been ignored for far too long. And what's powerful is how they are using social media to organize protests using hashtags like Reject Financial Bill 2025, Kenya Protest, sharing real-time updates, and urging the world to pay attention. And speaking of attention, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think the government should listen to the cries of the young people before implementing harsh policies? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Now, you might be wondering, how is the government responding to all this? President William Ruto initially defended the bill, claiming it was necessary for economic stability. However, the intense pressure from the streets and international attention forced the government to reconsider parts of the bill, promising to revise some tax proposals. But many Kenyans believe these are just empty promises to calm the protest, and they are demanding real accountability and structural change. Here's the part that's even more worrying. These protests are happening in the backdrop of rising youth unemployment and an economic slowdown, with many Kenyans feeling like there is no way out. And this is not just a Kenyan issue, my people. Across Africa, from Nigeria to South Africa, young people are rising, demanding governments stop the circle of corruption and mismanagement. So, what happens next in Kenya? If the government continues to ignore the voices on the streets, the protests could intensify. And for a country that has seen violent post-election clashes in the past, this is a dangerous path. But there's also hope, my people. The protests are a sign that the young Kenyans are refusing to be silenced and they are demanding a seat at the table to shape their country's future. And if you've watched this far, thank you for caring about what's happening in Kenya. Remember to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our next deep dive into global stories that truly matter. Before you go, let me ask you this. Do you think protests are the only way for young people to be heard in countries with falling systems? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's continue this conversation. Stay informed, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.